Hello, friends, and welcome to the Tavern Watch Murder Mystery Hour. There will be thrills, there will be chills, there will be more than a little amount of sass, but most importantly, there will be murder. Join us as our intrepid adventurers are in for the ride of their lives on the Eberron Express.
And it is the last day of travel. You've all retired to your rooms for the night, knowing that you only have one more day with all of these people, for better or for worse, before you'll be in Fairhaven. The morning arrives, and you all hear a shout.
Oh, that's abnormal. Celeria will, since she's been up for quite a while, since she doesn't actually sleep, she just trances, will exit her room looking tastefully put together, and go find out what the ruckus is.
Kind of groggily get out of bed, still wearing my slippers.
Yeah, Orchid's going to get up, and she has one of those dead husband robes. You know, the one with like the marabou cuffs. Yeah, she's just going to tuck that around herself and go see what's going on.
Wake up! Wake
did...
up! Wake up! I'm elbowing him. Wake up! Someone's yelling.
Oh God! Okay.
Someone's yelling. Oh God! My head. Oh. Oh, you got to get dressed.
Right.
And you, since we're in the state of undress we're in, you see, and no one else has seen this. I have a House Cannith's dragon mark on my shoulder, except it is much bigger than most would be. It's, if you know anything about dragon marks, it looks unusual, but it's definitely a dragon mark from House Cannith.
Interesting.
You're the only one who can see this because, you know, I'm not wearing any clothing at the moment, which is awkward.
Notes, but is discreet enough to not comment.
I get up and start staggering around looking for anything to wear. Like, oh Lord. So yeah, I get dressed as fast as I can from hearing the screaming.
So Celeria, it sounds like you would arrive first.
Likely, because I think I'd be the one that would sleep the least amount.
Mm-hmm. And you go into the dining car where you see the conductor has shouted for help, and one of the stewards has rushed in before any of y'all have managed to get here, and Egan Bakker is slumped over a table. There's blood on his back, dripping down his shirt.
Oh. Well, that simply won't do. What happened here?
Treya runs up to him and takes his shoulder. Egan? Egan!
There is no response.
Alice is slinked into the car.
He's like totally shocked. Like numb with shock.
Orchid comes in and just like full on stops, and her eyes are just huge as she's like witnessing this was not what she expected to see this morning.
At this point, the retainer has come in. He's pulling on his jacket and trying very hard to look proper, and just stops at the door looking at the scene. The conductor said, I was making my rounds this morning, and he was here. There's a bottle of strong liquor sitting on the table that it's, half or 2/3 empty. His pistol is sitting on the table.
I start looking at, if depending on how close I'm allowed to get, the blood is dripping, so it's fresh.
Okay, I phrased that wrong. There's a blood stain down his back that has dripped down his back.
So it's already started to coagulate. It's already started to.
Yes.
Okay, so it's been a while.
And yeah. If anyone wants to take a look and give me a medicine check.
Okay, I stagger in the door at this point, still pulling my jacket on. And I'm like, what in the... Oh, bloody hell.
Literally.
Wow.
That's not...
Is anyone else here trained in medicine?
I certainly am not.
I am. I have a +5.
No.
Yeah.
Can you do something?
Treya is, but she's too busy sobbing.
I look at the loyal retainer because they know who I am, and I wait for the nod before I can go look.
He is shocked. He is stock still, but he does when you make eye contact. He looks at you. He like locks eyes and gives a nod.
I move over.
Just a quick hasty thing.
16 plus 5 is a 16 plus 5, 21.
Okay, you can tell that Bakkar's been dead at least an hour, but no more than 5 hours. So it's been overnight. He's died sometime in the night. Not too long ago, but not 5 minutes ago.
How long would I estimate after him and I had our conversation?
Maybe when do you think you had this conversation? I would assume it's after dinner. It was maybe 10 o'clock.
Yeah, probably right around there. Like, that would be probably close to the people have started to go to bed and it's slightly quieter on the train type deal. So that would seem about right.
And right now it's probably around 5:30 in the morning. The conductor always makes his rounds very, first thing, make sure everything is in order on the train, make sure everything is ready for the day when passengers get up for breakfast and so on. Yes,
Sorry, go ahead.
He's probably died sometime between midnight and 4 to 5 in the morning.
I'll relay this information out loud to everybody, and I look at the conductor. When was the last service for this car?
We lock down. He's a little frazzled looking down at the body, looking around at all of you.
I catch his attention. Now is not the time to be overwhelmed. Perform your duties. What time do you lock down?
We lock down at 10:30. That's the last bar service, though Mr. Bakker did take a bottle for his own use.
Do I recognize that as this bottle?
Yes, you would have seen this bottle.
While Celeria's doing this, can Talis look around to see if he notices anything unusual?
Yes. Anyone who wants to look around, give me an investigation check.
Could it be 14?
So, you kind of look at the position of the body, how the blood has dripped down the back of his shirt. Where, the direction the blood pattern is, a few drops on the carpet. You think he was probably passed out on the table when someone shot him in the back.
Orchid is, I rolled a 17, by the way, on investigation.
Mm-hmm.
She's looking at, not up close, just close enough. She's keeping her distance out to be respectful, right?
Mm-hmm.
But looking at the gun, his gun, on the table.
Yes.
Does it look like it's been fired? Like, is there gunpowder residue or anything like that around it? Is it pointed at him?
Did Greedo shoot first?
It just looks like it's not pointed in any direction. It's been tossed on the table.
Just tossed on the table?
Yeah, it's tossed or set. Not like it was thrown, but it's not carefully
it's not sitting there like he
positioned.
was looking at it or examining it or anything. Like, it's just on the table.
Yes.
He wasn't cleaning his gun when they shot him in the back.
You never know. With a bad enough roll, that could be what you see.
I was going to say...
I know.
Does it look like he was shot in the back or in the front?
He was shot in the back.
Okay. All right.
I was just telling Talis that frankly, it looks like he was shot in the back while he was already slumped over the table.
Important question, Liz. So he's been shot. Does he still have a mouth?
Yes, he was shot in the back.
Okay,
Not the back of the head.
I'm just saying.
Just in the back.
I have to ask because it's a requirement.
Yeah, I know what you're going to do, and this is perfect.
Yeah, I want to step over to this man. Love to talk. Let's see if he keeps doing it. I'm going to brandish my holy symbol and cast Speak with Dead.
Hooray for the cleric.
Oh boy. Okay.
Is he about to spit some bars? This is going to be fun.
Only 5 of them.
So what do you want to ask?
All right. So, first question will be, what were you doing when you died?
I'd been drinking. His eyes are vacant. The breath was like the last exhale. He doesn't say anything.
Sobs some more.
Was there anyone here with you?
I have to check my notes. I was having a drink with someone. Do have to check my notes.
I know who it was in the original scenario but I think we invalidated it.
I mean, you might have gotten up.
Oh, wait, it was you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was me, yes.
Oh, yeah, you did invalidate it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah. Might not be. No, it's funnier this way.
Wow.
Yes, I was, now I have to think on my feet.
Go DM powers, activate.
I was supposed to meet Jindaar for a drink. Stood me up.
Kind of laugh. Yeah, I guess I did. Well, does anybody else have a question they want me to ask him?
Yeah, who killed him?
I guess that would be the easy one. Egan, do you know who killed you?
I saw no one.
It was worth a shot. Am I actually his daughter or not?
Was the gun in his possession? Was he playing with the gun when it happened?
Kind of hard to shoot yourself in the back.
Yeah.
I guess if you have mage hand.
No, I want to know if the gun was like on his person.
Yeah, was your gun on your person when you died?
Of course. It was in its holster on my...
Okay.
As far as he knows, anyway.
Yeah. I was going to say, unless they slipped it out of his
cold.
holster and killed him with it, could be a very smooth motion.
Well, if he was drunk, it's not like you could. What could he have done to stop him?
Bluster at them, probably. I'll roll my eyes. Egan, do you know why someone on this train would have wanted you killed?
Jesus, how much time do you have?
Buffer overflow.
There's a strange rasp coming out of him that... you think it might be a laugh? Everyone is jealous or holds grudges or wants something. Anyone.
I mean, he's got a point.
Right. I would like to also point out that his new invention, I believe, was on this train, is it not?
It's right in front of him, isn't it?
No.
Yeah, the gun was his...
The gun
his
was the
big
new invention? Okay.
Does it look like the original to me?
Yes. You've seen a lot of it, so yes, it does look like his usual pistol.
Well, we can surmise that it wasn't for necessarily material gain if the invention is still here.
I mean, maybe it wants to be... never mind.
No, spit it out, child.
I mean, I can think of 2 people here who could materially benefit from him dying and the gun being here without it being taken. Myself and his wife.
You, I assume, are accounted for, and I look at the cleric.
I mean...
Chuckle, yes, she has an alibi.
But still, you know what I'm saying. And there could be others. I mean... Well, I mean, I just gave him an alibi.
Why would I...
I'm not saying
why would I hurt my husband?
I'm saying I could have done it just as much as you could have done it, or somebody might want to use the fact that we'd profit.
Celeria is going to coldly just kind of look at everybody. Is his wife's grief real? I would like to make an insight check.
Well, I'll make an insight check too, but I want to make an insight check on what Celeria is doing.
You can do
a DC on that.
Do a performance check or a deception check. Do not tell me which. Do not tell anyone which.
I'm going to tell Liz. I'm going to tell Liz what I rolled.
Let's see. I guess.
Can I also make an insight check on her little moment of grief? Is that okay?
Yeah. Okay, let me. It should be a to the DM roll.
That's. We're back to relying on D&D Beyond.
Yeah, I'm not going to use it again. I'm sorry, I tried to.
No, that's fine.
But I got a 16, but I'm not checking her grief. I'm checking the Ice Queen and why. Like, why do I think the Ice Queen is suddenly acting like they're the investigator? What do I think is going on with that person? Because she seems to know me.
I got a 13, by the way.
Let's start with Joan. I do not see your roll on D&D Beyond. Just tell me the number.
I'll send it to you in direct message.
Okay.
Ah, yes. Digital ninja notes. We've come so far.
I mean, it's easier than passing notes around the table. You can... Celeria is definitely on to what's going on here. So, you tell us, is your grief real or feigned?
It seems pretty genuine.
And
so who is next?
Matt was doing an insight check on me.
Yeah, it was a 16. I'm sure you could probably beat that.
I choose not to. Like, I'm
what
not going to make...
why do you seem to know who I am? Why do you seem to be up on what everybody's doing?
Well,
I know you don't have to tell me everything, but
yeah, the why I know who you are, that you're not going to get that from an insight check. You're probably going to have a conversation, but you absolutely know I know who you are. You probably would be putting the pieces together that I've been watching you since we got to the platform and got on this train. You also know that I was entwined with Egan at some point. The nature of that probably isn't apparent.
I know that.
But you get the sense that I am extraordinarily disappointed that he is dead. There is no joy in this. This is not happy. What happened here is counter to whatever I want. My disdain is genuine.
Okay, I'm nodding to myself. I don't really care if the wife mourns him or not. I don't mourn him, so why should she?
And Orchid, you wanted to make a roll on something? Did I catch that?
Yeah, I was just rolling. I was also doing an insight check on Joan as far as the grief goes, and I rolled a 13.
Okay, then you actually see the same thing Celeria did.
Mm-hmm. I figured.
I'll look at Nick's character next. When we were checking in our items, Celeria would have noted that one of his items that he checked in was a gun. Or was that Joan?
I checked in a gun.
What did Nick check
pistol.
in?
I checked in daggers and a quarter staff.
Daggers and a quarter staff, okay. So I've already done the insight check on Joan, so I don't have a reason to really look at Nick yet. This is a conundrum. Well, I believe... Well, I'm just going to put it coldly because I really don't care about your emotions. I believe her grief is real. At least I have no reason to believe that it is not genuine. You have an alibi. And I point to Matt's character. I point to the click. You have an alibi. I look at Orchid. I look at... Nick, what's your character's name again?
Talis.
Look at Talis. And I even point out myself. The rest of us simply do not. I will admit that I had a conversation with him about 10 o'clock in the evening regarding personal matters between us, and he left. I assume that directly after that, he went to this car, grabbed a bottle of booze, and decided to drink himself silly. I would not have known as I started my trance shortly thereafter that. However, of course, I have no way to corroborate that, so think what you will. What of the rest of you?
In bed. I was in bed. I was sleeping. I did go for a little walk, but the little walk was, it was probably about 10 o'clock or so, and made it down to second class, was just checking out the train, and then came back and went to bed.
Oh, is that so? Is that why he didn't come back to bed last night?
I didn't see him last night.
I would like to make an insight check.
I don't believe you.
Okay,
That's only a 14.
And Orchid, roll persuasion or deception, whichever you prefer, and tell me the number, but not what you've rolled.
And Jindaar is going to kind of move to stand by Treya as kind of a calming influence. Kind of pat her on the shoulder. We'll figure out.
That's not my role. There we go. I was just like trying to make it privately. And you said it could be what or what?
Deception or persuasion?
7 plus 8, 15.
Okay, and sorry, what did you roll, Joe?
14.
Okay, then.
Which is funny because my passive my passive insight is higher than what I rolled.
You're just not sure. There's so much emotion in this room. Everyone is at least a little bit stressed out.
It's genuinely like horrified.
I've got a 22 insight for Treya.
So yeah, what does Treya see? What does Treya figure out about Orchid?
Orchid looks genuinely horrified. Like, this was not what she expected to see this morning at all. And she is telling the truth. She did not see him last night. As far as you can tell, she's 100% honest on that. As well as she took a trip through the train and came back. Like, that part, all of it, everything she just said is true.
Oh yeah, Treya's definitely going to get witnesses on that one, though.
Oh yeah, there are people in the second class car that would have seen her.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, the retainer, who has been just staring this whole time, is going to speak up. We should get the blue shield. That was his bodyguard. He might, if there's someone on the train who did this, he might be able to keep us safe.
So the Warforged, then.
Yes.
I mean, they're not going to let you activate a Warforged. You by all means, you go ask him. I mean, it's not my deal.
He looks at the train conductor, who's still in the middle of this. We need protection from whoever did this.
Well, as he mentions that, I will use a metamagic feat to subtly cast Detect Thoughts.
Okay.
So I activate one of the effects below until the spell ends. You can activate either effect as a magic action on my later turns. I want to sense thoughts. So I'm sensing the presence of thoughts within 30 feet of yourself that belong to creatures, no language, telepathic, blah, blah, blah. I don't read the thoughts, but I know what the creature is thinking at present. Everybody in this room is going to be viable to it. This does not require a saving throw. Only when I probe deeper will it. So I very...
You get surface thoughts.
I get surface thoughts, what people are immediately thinking. Yeah. So sorry, go ahead.
From the retainer, you do see he thinks he's worried. He's worried that someone might do something else. That maybe we do need this kind of protection.
What about everybody else in the party?
And I will say the train conductor thinks that might be a good idea to prevent any more violence. Maybe they should do this. And yeah, let's go down the list. Let's see, Orchid, what is kind of the one thought on your mind right now? Just the basic thing that's on the surface of your head.
I mean, technically I was in a bed.
No, I mean, what is your character thinking right at this moment?
That's her thought.
Okay. Treya?
Treya is furious that the conductor wouldn't let the bodyguard hang out around Egan during this whole time.
Let's see. Kaltjarn?
God, the big man's ass. I've never seen an ass like that. Oh, and the old man's dead, I suppose. Oh, well.
Oh, my God.
Talis?
I'm also a little annoyed that he's over with Treya. Kind of feels bad. And I don't like feeling like that.
Talis is thinking that while everyone's arguing, are we just glossing over the fact that someone just killed somebody? Like, they could still be around, and we're here arguing. That's the...
And Jindaar.
Yeah, I was going to say, last but not least, the priest.
Yeah.
So Jindaar's thought right now that he's moved over to Treya is that this is probably the best outcome for her in the end anyway. And also, oh no, I'm never going to get that 100 gold, though.
I know where my suspicions lay. I would like to attempt to probe deeper into the thoughts of Orchid. Orchid would have to make a saving throw, wisdom 15.
Okay. Oh, that's a 6.
Oh.
I learn... I'm going deeper. I'm going to fail save. You discern the target's reasoning, emotions, or something that looms large in its mind, such as a worry, love, or hate. So you did not make a save. So basically, I'm going to start probing to see if you have actual feelings for what just happened here, if you've been telling the truth, and what's looming. And this is, to me... I don't know if I will share it with everybody, depending on how this goes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do you want me to send you a message?
Yeah, you know what? Why don't you send me a message, and then we'll go from there. And then people can do stuff while you're messaging, but you notice that Celeria is just, like, her eyes are maybe just a little bit brighter in color, a little bit lighter in blue, as she's, like, looking at all of you while the discussion with the conductor is going on. This is all happening simultaneously.
Can Talis look around the car while they're doing that?
Sure. What are you looking at or looking for?
Anything that stands out, comings, goings, disturbances. If since we're up early, something had to have happened, or something had to have moved. There's got to be a sign of something, and I rolled a 25.
Oh boy. Okay, so you investigate the car. It was, this is only the first-class passengers have access to this car. The second-class passengers are all in a couple cars back. They have meals brought out on a cart to them. They don't get into the galley. They don't get into the dining car. So the traffic here is really just all of y'all. you look at the plush carpet. I mean, with a roll like that, it gets cleaned every night to keep it fresh. But you do see some, and of course there are a bunch of people who have rushed in here. But you do think you see a sign of some footprints passing in both directions. I'm sorry that doesn't really help you, but there's been a little too much commotion to be sure of what's going on. But you think...
Right. Okay.
You think there's some markings in the carpet that might have indicate that someone or someone's passed in both directions through the car earlier.
But I'm guessing that because of all the traffic since then, it's harder to tell. Okay. Beyond that.
And it's not really a place where you could, it's soft carpet. It's hard to see footprints in the first place. But with a roll like that, it's like you do see some signs under all of this, but it's not a lot to go on.
All right. Not enough to take further. Okay.
All right. I think... Ooh. That is a cat that missiled onto my desk. Hello, cat.
I know those.
I think I'm going to have to cast Detect Thoughts again, and this time I'm targeting the wife.
Okay.
So, again, DC 15 Wisdom saving throw.
Alrighty. That's a 3.
I am going to say the same thing that I said to Orchid to you, essentially, is you can private message me. Tell me what your deeper thoughts are. Is there something looming? Basically, I'm not necessarily going to share this with the class. I'm just very curious.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think I've got the right person I'm messaging here.
If it's an icon that looks like a really squat totem with a face like a man, you got the right guy.
Hey. Orchid's going to look over at Talis. You know spells, don't you?
Yeah, depends on the kind of spell, but enough.
Do you have anything where you could tell who touched that last? And she points at the gun.
Going through my spells.
I don't know anything about magic, but I thought...
All right, that should be her thoughts.
Okay, interesting. Celeria cocks an eyebrow at you at that at that revelation.
But also, I don't think the people. I don't. Are the people aware that you have done this if they failed the throw?
Nope.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah. So you don't know this has happened.
Yeah, it's just a thing that happened.
Yeah, but she's thinking about the thing that she's thinking about. She just kind of looks a little bit pale.
I think Celeria is going to glide over to you and put her hand on your shoulder. It's a little bit cold.
Treya's already shaking, so
she will lean over and ask if you would like to step away for a moment and collect yourself. And she will accompany you.
Let me send you a DM real quick.
Yeah.
Anyone can send me a DM if they want something off the record.
Treya eyes the bottle, but doesn't object.
I think I will, to everybody else, I'm going to take the grieving widow back to her cabin. And if anybody would like to accompany, that's fine.
The word widow just makes her sob even harder.
I'm sorry, even though her face does not even remotely reflect the emotion of sorry or pity.
Yeah, if you, Jindaar, if you don't mind, as a longtime friend of the family, I would like to come along.
I also feel that would be fine for accountability at this point. 3 people, it would be very difficult for the murderer to do anything in that situation without a ruckus, so that will be accountable for all of us. Please. And I'll lead you back to the cabins and take you back to your room, sit you down. I will actually get you a cold glass of water. As is my theme, I will frost it over with the frostbite touch because I can, because it's cool and I'm a magical creature and I just feel like it.
He knows how to do it.
You're going to give poor Talis performance anxiety. He's never going to cast spells again in public.
And she'll sit down politely across from you. She'll cross her legs, and I understand that you're grieving, dear, and I apologize for the hurt you must feel. But we both know there's something deeper on your mind. Would you like to express it out loud?
What? What do you mean?
Oh, darling, I know about the bottle.
She just kind of freezes up.
Oh,
just 1 second. Is Jindaar in the room when y'all are having this conversation, or did you? Okay.
Absolutely. 100%. Like Jindaar can be here. This is fine. Celeria realizes that out of all the people here, she is the one that does not have a concrete alibi. And so anything she does is going to involve a witness for, at the very least, plausible deniability. Because, again, if I were to just take the widow back by ourselves and then one of us dies later, well, that makes it pretty obvious. This murkies the water, which is much more fun for gameplay.
Yeah.
I'm flat out, I'll just tell you, dear, and I'm sorry to do this to you, but time is going to be rather limited. We don't have much more time before we reach our destination, and then this is going to get incredibly messy. I don't believe you killed your husband, but I do believe that you had some sleeping draught poured into his bottle. Why?
She just kind of sobs again, and it takes her a while to recover herself. Like, I didn't want him going in that woman's room. I thought if he were too tired, he'd come back.
I can see you genuinely cared for him, which is unfortunate. Do you know anybody here that would have had a motivation to murder him and not take anything? You inherit the estate.
I don't even care about the estate. She thinks about it for a minute, and then she says, no, I don't. And then she pauses, and she's like, wait. The conductor. He slides an envelope out from under her mattress. He was blackmailing the conductor.
Interesting. I look at Jindaar.
She'll hand over the letter.
I'm flabbergasted by this revelation.
Seems there was lots of negotiations going on.
I mean, this does maybe. I knew Egan was well off, but is that how he got this many people he personally knows into the first class?
I mean, to be fair, he was rather loaded. He had made quite a name for himself and was about to come into a whole lot more money. Let's be perfectly honest.
At least he thought he was.
Oh, so. He was, dear. Who do you think put the word in for him in House Caneth?
Who are you?
An old business associate of your husband's. I forgot what the retainer's name is.
Savan.
Savan would have known me, since it's so loudly proclaimed, and this is I look at the cleric and I was like, perhaps a confession? I don't know. These things are foreign to me. I'm the one that paid off the bastard child's mother for Egan when he had nothing. I'm the one that made your problem go away.
She really is.
Oh, 100%, darling. Cost me a pretty penny. I'm telling you this because I realize that I'm the only one that does not have a solid alibi, but I don't get paid now that he is dead. His debt does not transfer to you, unfortunately for me.
Treya's not really sure what to think about that, but she does seem to be kind of starting to pull herself together.
And I'll sit there. Listen, I know that this is going to be hard for you, dear. I'm not very much for the flowery or the warm. That's sort of antithetical to me. But I will tell you that perhaps now is the time to find your steel. At least for a little while. There'll be time to grieve later. For now, what do you say we find your husband's killer and make them pay?
She gets this almost bloodthirsty grin. Do let.
Ooh, I think I'm going to like you.
Celeria and Jindaar, you hear a noise in the hallway.
I'll let Jindaar act first.
Yeah, I figure I was probably standing near the door. I'll poke my head out in the hallway and see if I see what's up.
Just a second, we're rolling some dice over here. So Kaltjarn, what does Jindaar see when he looks out into the hallway?
A tall woman looking like she's trying not to get seen. And going, oh!
You are gifted in many ways, but stealth is not one of them. What are you doing?
It actually is. However, I wanted to eavesdrop. Everybody seems to know what's going on but me. Also, I don't like hanging out with my ex-step thing. Now, at this point, I'm audible. At this point, anyone in that room can hear me because I went from quiet to piked up there a little bit at the end.
So I guess the question is, did Matt hear what I was talking about or no?
No, I didn't get close enough.
You didn't go, okay, that was
No,
before.
I botched my
You did
stealth
not.
roll, man. I did not get a chance to eavesdrop. I wanted to eavesdrop, but I didn't get a chance to.
Unfortunate.
Now I'm out in the hallway, kind of,
It's all good rolls and bad rolls with not much in between.
I think I would usher us back to the rest of the group. The conductor has gone, right?
Okay. No. So while you have been having this conversation, is anyone in the room with Egan doing anything? Because the conductor and the retainer will have, possibly just the retainer actually, has gone and gotten a cloth to drape over Egan and is still saying we need to get the blue shield. Just in case. And he's made a compelling. He seems to have won the conductor over, who has been saying, "Okay, I have the keys to the cargo hold. We can go fetch it, and we'll see what happens."
Earlier, Orchid asked me if I would have a spell that would be able to determine anything, and
yes.
The answer
yes,
is
all of
no.
Okay.
So yes, Orchid and Talis, is there anything you have been doing while this conversation has been going on with Treya in the other room?
Orchid's like, number one, she wanted to find out if he had a spell that could do the thing, and when she finds out that he doesn't, then that's fine. But when they start talking about we need to get the dude out of the cargo,
Mm-hmm.
She says, "What about the rest of us? How are we supposed to feel safe?"
The retainer looks at you and says, Blue Shield will not let anything happen.
I want my things.
Man, I wish I wasn't in the room. I wish I wasn't out of the room.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was your call.
I know it was.
You wanted to eavesdrop. Here it
is.
is.
I know.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Make a persuasion check.
Me?
And yeah. And Nick, if you wanted to assist her or try to help with this, you can either both roll persuasion or one of you can assist the other to give them advantage.
I'll assist so she can have advantage.
Okay. $26.
The conductor looks down and sighs. He looks weary. Yes, perhaps this is a good idea. More weapons does not always solve the situation. Glares down at the gun that's still on the table. But yes, I understand people might be concerned at these happenings. I have the keys to the cargo hold. We can go. We can go now.
All right. Thank you.
I would like to put this there, and she reaches for the gun, assuming no one objects.
Oh, it's your
did you come
property.
back?
Yeah, we would have probably walked up at the tail end of this conversation.
I don't know
Okay.
I don't know how much that I did here, so. But yeah.
Make an investigation check for me.
Me?
Yeah.
We've got a 15.
As you pick the gun up, you look at it, and you can tell it's definitely been fired. You open it up, and you see that 2 rounds are missing.
Ooh.
I mean, he has 2 bullets in his back. So
Okay. Okay.
So who is going down to the cargo hold?
Treya's
Is
going.
everyone? Is anyone? Okay.
Wait, since I wasn't there, I don't think I know necessarily what we're doing going to the cargo hold.
I mean, you would have walked back while, the conductor's pulling out his keys and getting ready to head out.
Orchid's going with because she wants her stuff.
Mm.
I just follow.
She's still getting glares.
Because I don't know what's going on. I'm going to actually go up to... No, I won't. I don't have anything to say to my somewhat stepmother. I don't even understand that.
You would catch kind of a look from Treya, like there are words that need to happen, but
yeah, I didn't hear that, so I don't know anything about it. Since she's looking at me, I guess I'll stop and go. For what it's worth, I'm sorry he's dead. Not for me, but for you. You seem to like him.
She sets a hand on Kaltjarn's shoulder, and she's like, I want you to have what you didn't have, if I can make it happen.
Well, okay. I guess we could talk about that later. I think right now probably not the best time.
I agree.
I give you like the most confused look. In that moment, I look like I'm 5. Like I seriously have no idea what the F is going on. But I'm like, okay, that was weird. I trope after them because if nothing else, I will feel better with my mother's sword.
So is everyone's going? I mean, I don't know that I heard from Talis or Sileria.
Oh no, I would say Talis will follow Orchid.
Okay.
I'm gonna kind of stick with Treya, I think, at this point, because one, selfishly, there is an invested interest in the future since technically she now controls the estate, and I might be able to get something out of that later on. But also because I think that she would be the next likely target, if any.
And at that point, I'm going to, because otherwise I'm standing alone with a dead body, and that looks weird.
I mean, it's covered up. It's probably fine.
Yeah, they put a tarp over it. We're good.
It's
not a tarp, it's a sheet. Oh well, whatever. It's a sheet. Yeah.
It's pet rules. Once the tarp's on it, you don't know it's there. It's fine.
Yeah.
What's the matter?
Totally
hidden.
a dead body?
I mean, just a really squishy table.
I mean, we could make a stealth roll for the corpse, maybe. I don't know.
He's got an advantage because he can hold his breath.
Are there any necromancers
We get at Bernie's now.
That's how I know who the killer is.
We get at Egon.
I'm still alive. That's the worst Egon impression I've ever heard. Look, I only barely knew the man.
That'd be an interesting way to solve this conundrum, but yes, on we go. The lot of you leave the dining car. The conductor with his keys out is in front. And you go past a couple of cabins, go through the galley, and into the second class car, which is...
While we're traveling, Liz, and
okay.
I want to cast Detect Thoughts one last time, but this time on the conductor.
Okay.
So I would like him to make a Wisdom 15 saving throw, please.
Okay, what is his wisdom? What was it?
15.
What was the save?
15.
He got a 15.
Ah, interesting. I don't think I have any meta magic that I can do to manipulate that. Let me just double check.
I mean, do you still get surface thoughts?
I do, but he knows I cast it.
Ah, okay.
So I get his surface. I get his surface thoughts, but he knows I went probing. I'm equipped because I have the letters still.
Yeah, he glances back at you just briefly, and surface thoughts you get. Just what will happen? What? I mean, just there's confusion. Mostly.
Interesting.
What happens next?
I'm going to keep that in mind. All right.
So, yes. Through the second class car, which there are a lot of eyes on you. There are a couple of people still asleep, but a group this large going through the cabin, it's certainly
Still
unusual.
in her dead husband robe, by the way.
I imagine that most of you are a little disheveled, maybe in pajamas. Mm-hmm. So this is a very unusual sight to see the first class passengers trumping through the second class car. Everyone who is awake turns to stare, and the few people who are asleep kind of rouse and look at you. So the cargo hold is right behind the second class car. You go through the car, conductor unlocks the door, and you cross over.
See how he unlocks it?
It's with a key.
Okay. Where did he pull the key from?
He has it in, a little pocket. It's on a little chain attached to his vest.
Okay, thanks.
So inside the cargo hold, y'all should have a map of what it looks like. It's the same size as all of the other cars. It's not really lit. There's a couple of lanterns, like ever-burning light lanterns, and the conductor taps them to turn them on and make it a little less dim, but this isn't designed for inhabitants, really. At the very back of the car, there's a double door where cargo gets loaded in, and there may be a dozen wooden crates stacked around the car, strapped in. There is a cabinet on the left-hand wall with metal lockboxes that hold all of your belongings. The conductor says, all right, I'll get this first, and goes pulling out another key, unlocks several cabinets, and presents you with your things if you should desire to take them.
I will absolutely take my gem back, which is in the form of a like an opera monocle almost.
Mm-hmm.
I will take that back.
Orchid's going to put her necklace back on and grab her short bow.
I hold out my hand, since it's just a straight up action and doesn't cost me anything to do this. And my sword and great axe both pop to my hand. They just fly across my hands. And
the conductor dodges out of the way.
Orchid blinks at that demonstration.
Once those are in place, I hold up my hand again, and the battle axe comes to me.
Talis is going to grab his quarterstaff and both of his daggers, while just looking amused at the flying weaponry across the car.
Well, if everybody else is rearming.
Treya's not going to even bother going to her locker. She's just going to go to the bodyguard.
Yeah, there's
the blue shield is a large warforged, and you, Treya, and the loyal retainer both.
While this is all going on, I'm going to make an investigate check around the area to see if I see any signs of that thing having moved.
That's a good idea.
Scrape floor, scrape dust, anything like that.
Okay, so there's not really any dust. Make me an investigate check. Since it was loaded, make an investigation check. So I will say the blue shield, he's large warforged. It is a large warforged. Okay, I'll get to that in a second.
That's fine.
And it is sitting in a chair bolted to the middle of the floor. It's not bolted to the floor. The chair is bolted to the floor. It appears to be sitting comfortably, but its eyes are closed. It's deactivated in some kind of rest mode. And you look around the chair for scrapes or scuffs. You don't see any signs that it has moved. There are some scuffs and scrapes from the doors in the back where cargo was loaded in, but it doesn't look like anything has moved towards the rest of the carriages. Does that make sense?
No, I understand it. There's no sign that this thing got up since last night.
No.
Okay. So it was loaded in here, and as far as I can tell, it has been here.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Anyone else doing anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask it whether it saw anyone come back here, or whether it left this room.
So
sorts of things.
So who? I'm gonna say it's deactivated, so someone's going to have to wake it. Who is walking up to the blue shield? Is it just Treya?
Yeah, it ain't me. Actually, I'm gonna actually say, oh, hold on a second, my lady. Why don't you not, Mr. Retainer?
Why?
Let's just say that of all the people in this room, you are the most likely to be the target of somebody who would have killed your husband.
I suppose.
So I don't think you should put yourself in a dangerous situation when your retainer is here, and this was his idea.
I trust the blue shield.
It's up to you.
You know that the blue shield has always been fiercely devoted to Egan. It fought in the war, and Egan sort of took it in afterwards for its service, and it has remained devoted to him for what perhaps it sees as a kindness ever since. And the retainer says, I know how to wake him. It's fine. I can do that.
Right. What is Savan looking like, right?
Savan is
nervous, is he
a little paler than usual. Frankly, whenever you've seen him before, he looks perfect. He is perfectly dressed. He is the perfect sort of manservant with his hair very neat. And he's very disheveled this morning. He was waken out of bed. He has pulled on his jacket, and the buttons are off kilter. You know, he's trying to come out looking his best and looking perfect and proper as is expected, but he's not. He looks shaken.
All right. Fine. I'll let him wake it up.
So he goes over and taps the blue shield on the neck. There's like a wake switch or something of that nature, and its eyes open with a blue light behind them. The retainer says, "Shield, Bakker has been killed." And there's a pause. The retainer says, "I hope you can keep us safe, keep Treya safe." And the shield roars and swings a heavy hand out and smacks the retainer, who flies across the room. And I need everyone to roll initiative.
Friends, I'm here to remind you that Blizzard Watch is made possible due to the generous contributions at patreon.com/BlizzardWatch. Your continued support means that this podcast site and community is able to thrive and grow. Blizzard Watch supporters enjoy exclusive benefits like early access to the podcast, a better chance at having your questions answered on our podcast of the queue, and an ads-free site experience. And due to your contributions, we're able to do fun shows and projects like this. So thank you very much from those of us at Blizzard Watch.
Tune in next week for Murder on the Eberron Express.